More of that barbed wire that adorns all the city's buildings. If I get up close enough, I can hear a slight buzz. A sure sign that this fence is electrified.
Or it's made of bees. Didn't consider that, did you?
There's a flat metal object buried in the bushes, but I can't see it very well from this side of the fence. Okay, I'll wear the gloves to cut the electrified wire.
There we go. Boom.
Perfect.
How did you know there was no alarm?
Let's see what's down here.
Kitchens and
It's
pie?
a trapdoor, and it looks like it hasn't been used in a long, long time.
It's a trap door.
This door leads to a dingy back room. What the hell could be in here? I can hear the buzz of electricity coming from inside, but I can't figure out anything more without a little more light.
It's probably a photo lab. It says dark room, dummy. Oh. This is bad. Whoa, man. Primo acid.
A container covered in dust. It's not properly closed. The label says hydrofluoric acid.
Okay. Yoink. Never know when I'll need acid.
Let's see if this grate can be removed.
Crap. Great.
Perfect. It looks like this hole leads to a passageway on the other side.
Look at me. I'm playing Arkham Asylum. Or one of the Arkham games. You crawl through grates in all of them. Because they all have surprisingly roomy and sturdy ventilation that will support the weight of a full-grown man carrying tons of gear and wearing an armored rubber suit. I don't like the screams here. I don't like this place. It's worse than the forest.
There's a bunch of papers stuck to the door of the closet. There seems to be some type of bureaucratic form among them.
Green, not affected, red infected, long-range rifle, GPS, enter the complete address, be sure to upgrade usual database, Army Staff 2, Medical Staff 2. Okay. Oh, more stuff. Adrian Cerda, Edwin Chung, Jerome Braun. What am I looking at? It's just a bunch of names. Maximum risk. Do I recognize any of these names? Nope.
Military personnel, GPS, targets, rifles. I'm afraid what's described on these pages doesn't have very much to do with typical medical activities in a hospital.
All right.
It's an enormous, wrinkled plastic bag that looks like it wants to escape from the cart's trash can.
Okay. It's in a medical facility, but I don't think this is a doctor's bag.
It has a side zipper that's open. The lining of the bag is damp and sticky.
It's a body
What the hell
bag.
could they have been keeping inside it?
It's a body bag, dummy. You walk slow.
The future is in our hands. Collaborate, rebuild, report. From the text, I say this poster must have been part of a government campaign launched after the Great Wave.
Yes.
Unlike his neighbors, this door is hanging open. All I see inside are remnants of stickers and torn photographs. It looks like someone left in a hurry, without even saying goodbye.
Any unicorn stickers?
A row of anonymous, ramshackle lockers. I get the impression that everything in here could fall apart at any moment.
Okay,
Maybe in solidarity with those poor unfortunates screaming in the main hall.
This one's tilted over, but these look sturdy enough. They're not ramshackle.
This glass cabinet has dozens of medications stored inside, classified by type. Antibiotics, anti-inflammatory drugs, diuretics, and
Morphine.
painkillers.
Yeah, I don't feel like playing painkiller, but
I'd
I'll
rather
grab
use
some.
a key to open this case, but I'm a bit short on time. So,
Who is it? Who's there?
excuse me,
What are you doing here? Have you come to steal something? Take one more step and I'll call the soldiers.
No, wait, please, don't do that.
Security, this is Nurse Uma Grundy. I need you to come right away.
Uma.
No, wait!
Uma. Uma Mao Mao. Uma Mao Mao.
Wait a
Uma
minute.
Mao.
Did you say Uma? Nurse Uma?
Yes, that's my name.
Wait, please don't turn me in. I know your father. I saved his life just a few hours ago. They were going to deport him to the refugee camp, but I was able to stop it.
My God, did you say my father? Tell me, how is he? Has anything happened to him?
I don't know.
Don't
I'm
worry,
about to get
Uma.
taken away.
He's safe. He told me about you and your work in this place. He was worried. He'll want to know that you're all right. Wait, please don't turn me in.
This is Nurse Uma Grundy. It turned out to be a false alarm. You don't have to come, thank you.
Thank you, Uma. You did the right thing. My name is Michael.
But now you should explain why you burst in here like that. What are you looking for, Michael?
I came to get medicine. I need a cure for the dissolved.
Cure? There's no such thing. You won't find it here or anywhere else.
I knew it.
The authorities distributed a memo among the medical staff months ago. I'm sure you can still find a copy of it around here somewhere. It told us that they've definitely abandoned the search for a medicine. You made a mistake risking your life to get in here. The only thing we store here is pain. This place is a tomb for those poor infected devils, but also for the people who work here. I'm sorry, Michael. The dissolved are condemned to death.
No, that can't be. There has to be a solution. A cure. Oh, man. Poor Rod. Poor Colin.
And his wife.
But I heard in the refugee camp, they said a cure is being produced and stored here.
Rumors.
Well, if that's not the case, what's the purpose of a building like this?
The Army deliberately keeps that rumor about a possible cure alive. You see, as long as people still have some hope left, it is much easier to control the city more effectively. But it's a lie.
I understand.
This medical center was built just after the Great Wave, taking advantage of some abandoned underground facilities. That was when the authorities were beginning to work on their project to rebuild the city. They told us the building was going to be used to take in the first patients. Of course, we had no idea the disease would become so widespread. I left my job in a clinic downtown to come here. I wanted to lend a hand. They demanded total confidentiality about our work to avoid causing panic in the population. Not even my father knew what we were really doing in here.
Yes. He told me that when I asked him about this place.
At first, we treated the patients with great care. There was medicine to ease their suffering and even research into a possible cure. Everything was going smoothly.
And then what happened?
Things started to go wrong. When the number of patients multiplied, we couldn't keep up. And then we began to run out of even the most basic supplies.
Like
and
humanity?
that was when the Army took over complete control of the center.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Then they sealed off the building. No one was allowed to leave, not even us. We doctors and nurses have been shut in here for months, isolated without even a glimpse of daylight. They say it's for security reasons. It's for our own safety. Oh yeah. Now our medical care is limited to wrapping up the patients in plastic bags, like the ones they use to transport cadavers. And then simply waiting for them to die, doing what little we can do to ease their suffering. Then we dispose of their remains, dissolving the black bags in acid for decontamination. And that's about it.
Ugh.
That's all we can do with the resources we have. And sometimes it's just too much to bear.
Condemned to die. I heard their cries of pain out there. What really happens to the dissolved?
The acid.
These people suffer the most excruciating pain and die in the most horrible way I've ever seen. The first symptoms are bouts of nausea and fainting, which become more frequent and prolonged as the disease progresses. Until, in the end, their entire metabolism enters a state of shock. Then, their entire cell structure dissolves. It simply disintegrates. There's no medical explanation. It just happens. But there's something even stranger about the disease.
What could be stranger than what you just told me?
The dissolved become erratic, unpredictable, eccentric. They're uncontrollable. That's why the Army fears them. They're afraid of their unpredictable behavior, but also of their strange messages. So the sole function of this place is to keep them locked away, hidden, and under the Army's control, until death takes them off their hands, one by one. It's also why people who harbor the dissolved are punished. And it's also the reason for the existence of the cleanup brigades.
Oh, man. This is a downer.
But I thought they were just controlling the patients to keep the disease from spreading.
If it
But
spread
that's a
that way,
lie.
they'd all be
A
dead in here.
blatant lie. The spread of the disease is accelerating. The number of cases is multiplying every day. But it's not contagious. We doctors and nurses have been treating the sick for months, in direct contact with them and their remains. And the rate of contagion among us is no higher than out there. The Army is lying.
But then, how is the disease spread?
We don't know.
We don't know, Michael. No one knows. What we do know is that it's not caused by direct contact with the victims. There's another reason for the Army's secrecy about the dissolved. Fear. It's human nature to fear the unknown. We tend to panic when faced with something we don't understand. And this damn disease is more than any of us can handle.
It's really creepy watching your head bob while you talk with absolutely no body motions.
And what is it that makes the dissolve so unpredictable and dangerous?
They know, Michael. You probably think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, they know. They talk about events no one else knows about. They sense things. They bring back information from the places they go.
Yeah, we're in
and
early
they talk
stages.
to the dead there, Michael. They communicate with the dead. They know, Michael. That's all.
They're just sick people, Uma.
No, they're more than just ordinary sick people. You wouldn't talk like that if you had been living with them, and their messages and their prophecies all these months.
Wait a minute. Did you just say the dissolved make prophecies?
Let me tell you a story. When I first came to the center, I became friendly with a patient, a 13-year-old girl. All the time I was taking care of her, she never stopped chatting. She told me all about the underground highways. She said she went there every day.
Underground highways?
She said they all went there when they lost consciousness. Obviously, I felt great pity for the girl, but in time I also came to feel tremendous fear. I was afraid of that poor, hopeless child. Her visions, her dreams, her messages terrified me. And then one night she sat down next to another patient, an older woman who looked surprisingly healthy. According to our calculations, this woman still had a few months to live. The woman had just lost consciousness. "Leave me alone with her," the girl said to me. "It won't be long now." And she took the woman's hand. And just seconds later, the woman started to dissolve, shrieking and writhing in pain, until there was nothing left of her but a puddle of brown, viscous liquid. The girl turned to me and said, "I knew she was leaving us, and I didn't want her to go alone. That would have been very sad, wouldn't it, Uma?" The girl's face was still dripping with the remains of the patient. She knew what was going to happen, Michael. She saw it. From then on, my fear became uncontrollable. I felt defenseless next to her.
I understand.
Finally, my panic was so great that I refused to go anywhere near her. And I even, God forgive me, I felt secretly relieved when she herself finally dissolved. They know, Michael, and that's why they're so dangerous to the people in power now.
The cleanup brigades. I've seen how they behave.
They're savages. I despise them. They're like predatory animals, heartless and unscrupulous. The rest of the staff refuses to share the facilities with them, so their lockers are out in the hallway. That's where they keep everything they need for their hunting expeditions. The GPSs, the disease detection tests, their ID badges. Each unit is made up of 2 soldiers, 1 doctor and 1 nurse. I mean, doctors and nurses collaborating with those bloodthirsty animals. But then they say, "What do you want? It's our job, and somebody's got to do it."
Yes.
Just following
The phrase
orders.
sounds familiar. It's bone-chilling. Police and criminals using exactly the same words to justify their actions. You gotta do what you gotta do. That seems to be the slogan of the executioners of this new world.
Talk to my father, Michael. Tell him that I'm all right, that he shouldn't worry, that we'll be seeing each other soon. Very soon.
In the middle of all the broken glass, and stored in the compartment for painkillers, there's a vial labeled oral morphine.
Ding. Oh, can I just root around with this?
Let's see. Inside, I only see dust and old papers, and a tiny key.
Key. Key.
The nurse's silhouette seems to fade in the light of this lamp. I'm afraid that after so many months cooped up in here, Uma is nothing more than a ghost now.
Ooh, cigarette
The
butts.
floor of this place is one big revolting ashtray. It's a little disconcerting to note that cleanliness is not exactly a top priority in the hospital.
Doodly-doo-dee-doo.
The handle that opens this rusty monstrosity looks worn out. It looks like this closet is used frequently, and with very little care. A tiny lock is preventing me from opening the door, and despite its size, it seems to be very strong.
Doodly-doo. I got a tiny key.
I'm not going to open it this way. I don't see any cracks in the door big enough to get any leverage.
So just break the... Oh, that would make noise.
A tiny key. The lock presumably is too.
But not quite as tiny, because then the key would not fit
Let's
in
see
it.
if it's the key to this closet. Bingo!
Bingo, zingo.
I see a yellow bucket in here with medical waste, with a handful of what seem to be tests for detecting the dissolved. I'm not going to take any. A small red LED is blinking on all of them, an unmistakable sign that they've been used.
Ew.
A mysterious crate with several objects inside.
Cell phone? Hospital? Folder? Morphine? Wooden crate?
According to one of the cleanup brigade's forums, this is the device they use to navigate during their raids. Sort of like an electronic map. It looks like some satellites are actually still working after the Great Wave. Something I could easily confirm if this contraption had batteries in it.
Then how do you know the satellites are working?
Authorized Vehicle Pass. It's the ID that allows the cleanup brigades to get in and out of the hospital compound in their macabre ambulances. From what I can tell, the Army can pump you full of lead if you try to come through the gate without one of these. It's an internal Army memo for the hospital's medical staff. The report talks about the failure to develop a cure for the dissolved, and what's even worse, the decision to finally abandon the search for one.
I am not looking forward to telling Rod about this at all. Maybe I can use the acid on those guys.
What is this place? Where the devil am I? It seems like the small building at the ground level is just camouflage. The most important part is here underground. Are all of them dissolved? How many patients can there be packed in here? Dozens? Hundreds? This is horrible.
Those poor doctors are trapped in a time loop, throwing the same bagged body onto a pile only for it to disappear and reappear where they were tossing from. Oh well, nothing can be done about that. Oh, I don't like this place. I don't like the themes in this game, but it's not intended to be liked. It's intended to be a good story, not a happy, likable one. I probably need to play something happy next. Again, at least I'm not getting killed over and over again after BioShock and Dead Space in rapid succession. Oh, man. Oh.
This street is even more desolate and silent than it was before. I guess while I was in the subterranean hospital for the dissolved, the soldiers called the curfew.
Oh, I can actually talk to her now? Way to go.
What are you doing out here, ma'am? What's the matter?
It's my brother. He's disappeared. We don't know where he is.
What do you mean he's disappeared?
Well, we haven't seen him since he spoke to you, since he ran out of the church. We've been searching for him for hours and can't find him anywhere.
It's
And
been
you don't
hours?
have any idea where he might have gone?
No, he simply ran out of the door, completely out of control. I've never seen him so upset.
He was
And we
excited.
haven't heard anything from him since. I just know that something terrible has happened to him. My brother is very sick and he shouldn't be out there alone and unprotected. I fear the worst.
Calm down. There's no reason to think that anything has happened to him.
Other than
I have a
this world
feeling
is
that
the way it
something
is.
awful has happened. I'm sure of it. Besides, the soldiers have already called the curfew. If they find him on the street alone and lost, in his condition, my brother is a very beloved and respected person. But those beasts don't care who he is.
I understand.
We have to get off the street. Please, if you see my brother, tell him to come home. Tell him we're waiting for him.
Of course. I'll do that.
Man, people just disappear with a fade out. This place is so weird.
Oh no. It's starting again. It's amazing. Everything's changing. Everything.
No, the landscape is not changing, just the constructs. And the ravens are still there.
Everything is mutating. And I haven't even moved. I don't understand.
Okay, thank you. We've heard you say that how many times now? What's going on here? I can't
The
move.
camp is closed, Rat. Get away from the gates.
But I have to come in. It's urgent. What happened?
There's no understanding you worms. Always wanting to get out of here. Once you're outside, you're dying to get back in. One of our soldiers was killed, and the camp will remain closed until the matter is cleared up. So take a hike.
There was an attack?
Yes, someone hit one of the sentries in the watchtowers with a rock and made him fall out. He was killed instantly. Luckily, it seems there was a witness who saw the perpetrators launch the projectile, and they have been detained. But we never trust the testimony of a rat, so we're waiting for the criminals to confess, or for the murder weapon to turn up.
I don't think it's going to take very long to get the truth out of these kids. Or to find the weapon they used to commit the crime.
Good God. What have I done? I knew I shouldn't have gotten them mixed up in this. But they're just a couple of scared kids. Don't you see that? What are you planning on doing with them?
Killing an official is punishable by death, and martial law is quite clear in this respect. They acted as adults, and they will pay for their actions as adults. As soon as they confess, or we find the weapon they used to commit the crime, we'll take care of matters. Do you have a problem with the law being enforced?
You're nothing but a gang of warped psychopathic pigs.
One more word and I'll blow your head off right now, bastard. I couldn't care less what privileges that bracelet might give you. Get out of my sight.
Those pigs are gonna kill the boys, and it'll be my fault. I'll be responsible for their deaths. I can't let that happen. I have to do something, and fast. But what? I'd rather not do that. The New World is violent enough without going around hitting its inhabitants.
There's a good reason. Your stock messages, that's...
I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but throwing acid on them could get me into an even bigger mess.
See?
I'd rather not do that.
You get a custom message for the acid.
I suppose the rain has been flooding the pit little by little. This water is so dark you can't even see the bottom. Wait a minute. There's something floating in the pit, but I can't see what it is from up here.
I can see what it is.
Before I go down, in
Yes,
case the-
yes. You're repeating yourself, Michael. Oh, God, everything Dalek does is dark.
Damn it. If I don't prevent it, those bastards in uniform are going to execute the boys. For God's sake, I have to think of some way to save them, and I have to do it now.
Night of the Rabbit is the only thing they have that isn't depressing, and even then it's
Jesus.
slow.
It's the corpse of Reverend Blake.
Oh.
His neck is broken. In his delirium, he must not have seen the rope I left tied around the tree, and must have fallen from the top when he was trying to get down here. But what the hell was he looking for here? Let's see what's in here. A damp, moldy business card. It's almost illegible. but it looks like it's from a place called Beechwood Oracle. Most of the text is too worn off to read. All you can make out of it is an address. 24 Mammoth's Wood Street.
Can we get rid of this problem?
Good idea. I could use Reverend Blake as a scapegoat to protect those children. On the other hand, him being one of the most famous and respected men in the city, I doubt anyone would believe my story if I accused him of attacking the sentry in the tower.
I think I just figured out what I have to do, and I don't like it. At least I can put it off till next time. Thank you very much, everybody. Please like, comment, or subscribe if you enjoyed seeing me suffer through this. Or not. I'm not the boss of you.